You are listening to our Blaze Bible Reflection read by Ola. Today we begin the book of Mark. The Gospel of Mark, an introduction. The Gospel of Mark is the shortest of the four Gospels, consisting of 16 chapters, and is traditionally attributed to John Mark, a companion of the Apostle Paul and an associate of Peter. It is widely regarded as the earliest Gospel and offers a vivid, urgent, and tightly focused account of the life and mission of Jesus. Mark 1 verse 1. Mark writes not to provide a full biography, but to confront readers with the true identity of Jesus and the meaning of discipleship in light of the cross. At the center of Mark's Gospel stands Jesus as the Son of God, but this identity is presented in a surprising and challenging way. Mark 1 verse 1, chapter 15 verse 39. Jesus is not portrayed as a triumphant or politically powerful Messiah. Instead, Mark presents him as the suffering servant of God, whose mission is fulfilled through vulnerability, rejection, obedience, suffering, and death. Mark 8:31 and 10:45. Salvation, in Mark's understanding, is not achieved through force or glory, but through faithful obedience to God that leads to the cross. Mark 14 verse 36. For this reason, the cross is the core of the gospel. Everything in Mark's narrative moves toward Jesus' suffering, death, and empty tomb, which together redefine what it means for Jesus to be the Messiah. Mark 15 verse 24 to 39, and Mark 16, 1-8. One of the most striking features of Mark is the urgency of its narrative. The story moves rapidly, often marked by the repeated use of the word immediately. Mark 1:10, 1:12, and 1:18. Scenes follow one another quickly, giving the impression that God's work cannot be delayed. This fast pace reflects both the urgency of Jesus' mission and the pressing reality of God's kingdom breaking into the world. Mark 1:14-15. What matters is action, movement, and response. Closely connected to this urgency is Mark's emphasis on Jesus' deeds rather than his teaching. Compared with other Gospels, Mark contains fewer long discourses and focuses instead on miracles, healings, and exorcisms. Mark 1:32-34, Mark 2:1-12, and Mark 5:1-20. Through these actions, Jesus is revealed as one who acts with divine authority. He commands demons, heals the sick, forgives sins, and exercises power over nature. Mark 1:27, Mark 2:10, Mark 4:39. Yet, this power does not lead to acclaim or triumph. Instead, it provokes misunderstanding, opposition, and ultimately suffering, showing that divine power in Mark is inseparable from self-giving and sacrifice. Mark 3:6 and Mark 8:31. The Gospel is also structured around the way of the cross, understood as Jesus' destiny in Jerusalem. The first part of the narrative focuses on Jesus' ministry in Galilee and surrounding regions, Mark 1 verse 16 to Mark 8 verse 26. The second part turns decisively toward Jerusalem, where Jesus repeatedly predicts his suffering and death, Mark 8:31, 9:31, and 10:33-34. This journey is not accidental or tragic in the ordinary sense. It is the necessary path of obedience through which Jesus fulfills God's will. Mark 10:45. In Mark, to follow Jesus means to walk this same path of costly faithfulness. Mark 8:34. A distinctive theological feature of Mark is what is often called messianic secrecy. Throughout the Gospel, Jesus repeatedly suppresses public recognition of his identity. He silences demons who know who he is, instructs those he heals not to speak, and rebukes the disciples when they attempt to define his mission in triumphal terms. Mark 8 verse 33. This secrecy reflects Mark's conviction that Jesus cannot be rightly understood apart from the cross. Any proclamation of Jesus as Messiah that ignores suffering leads to distortion. Mark 8:31-33. Jesus therefore chooses to operate humbly and quietly, revealing his true identity only through suffering love. Mark also represents a profound paradox in the response to Jesus. Those who should understand him most, especially the disciples, consistently fail to do so. They misunderstand his mission, argue amongst themselves, fear danger, abandon him in his suffering, and Peter denies him. Mark 14:66-72. No disciple witnesses the resurrection in the earliest ending of the gospel. This portrayal is not a signal of embarrassment, but a deliberate theological choice. It underscores the difficulty of true discipleship and the fragility of faith under pressure. In contrast, those who might least be expected to recognize Jesus sometimes do. Demons identify him correctly, Mark 1 verse 24, and most strikingly, a Roman centurion declares at the moment of Jesus' death that he is truly the Son of God, Mark 15:39. In Mark, recognition comes not through miracles or success, but at the cross. Jesus' death becomes the decisive moment in which his identity is finally revealed. Suffering, death, and the empty tomb therefore form the heart of Mark's gospel. Mark 15:24 to Mark 16:8. Jesus' power is revealed through weakness, and discipleship is defined by self-denial rather than self-preservation. Mark's Jesus calls followers to lose their lives for the sake of the gospel, trusting that true life is found not in security or status, but in faithful obedience to God. Mark 8:35. Written in a clear, urgent, and relatable style, the Gospel of Mark presents a realistic vision of Jesus and discipleship. It strips away triumphal expectations and invites readers to encounter the Son of God on the way of the cross, where divine power is revealed most fully in suffering love and heroic offering. Jesus, Son of the living God, strengthen us in moments of weakness and suffering. Amen.